Hello everyone and welcome to my demonstration of Platform Race, a multiplayer platform racing game developed in Unity by Ben Jones and Dave Caraher. The reason why Ben and I chose to design this game is we had some experience with the development of platform games, and in addition had some ideas on how we might be able to kind of add an RPG kind of element to a platformer, and give it a little bit of an RPG look and feel to it, while at the same time introducing the multiplayer competition type element to it, where two people or more would get into the game and kind of battle it out on a platform race while trying to race to the end of a level. I have the game running on two computers. I have it running on my laptop on which I'm doing the video, and I also have it running on a desktop machine sitting next to my computer on the same network. So in front of you here, let's go ahead and click on the multiplayer option. You can see there's a couple other options: a practice mode, which will launch a single player game, and options where you can make adjustments, to, for example, to the sound. So let's go ahead and launch multiplayer. Multiplayer will bring us to a fairly standard Unity network lobby. Um, Slightly different look and feel to the UI, but otherwise it's a fairly typical Unity network lobby manager lobby. And it's in here that we set up our servers, or set up a manual connection to join a match directly, where the server is one of the people who is joining the game. So in this particular instance, what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and host this game on this computer right here. And you can see it's waiting for players. So I've got my little player set up here. I'm going to switch over to my other computer briefly. Go ahead and launch the multiplayer game over there. Type in the IP address for this computer so that I can access it. And when I click join, you should see that player join our game. And there it is. So player one is ready to play. Player two is also ready to play. Like I said, this is a fairly standard Unity network lobby. And we're going to go ahead and click join on my remote computer, and he goes to a ready status, and click join on this computer to also go to a ready status. Now what it'll do is we've got several levels programmed in the game, and it will randomly select one of those levels. You can see on this computer, my player is in the back here. So he's my host, and I can run him around and I can jump him around. I can shift over to my other computer and I can run him around and jump him around. And basically that gives me a couple of characters that I can run, and we can try and race to the end. We can push each other around if we want to and try and shove each other off the platform. So that's basically the game, the play experience. I would run to the end of this level, except that A, it's a pretty large level, and B, I'm really bad at platformers personally. I like to play them, but I'd probably fall through about a third of the way through this particular game. And I'd have to drag somebody along with me. But the gameplay is pretty much what you would expect from a platformer. It is a competitive platformer, so there's some racing against each other and pushing and shoving and trying to get to the end. What we found through playtesting was typically you don't make it to the end. One or the other will generally push the other player off well before reaching the end of the level, and the person who doesn't fall through, or at least doesn't hit the bottom first, is the winner of the game. The play experience is a little different from our original design. Originally, we thought we'd have a few more RPG elements into this game, maybe give you experience for completing a level, or something you could do to graphically distinguish your character. Unfortunately, gameplay development was a little more difficult than we initially thought it would be. We actually ran into quite a few different challenges. One of the bigger challenges that we had in connecting up the network lobby was getting the players to spawn separately. So converting our platform game that we knew how to develop to a networked platform game served to be a bit of a challenge. Ben was able to solve that after a little bit of work, so good job to Ben on that one. We also had some issues with trying to keep the camera tracking and trying to keep the animations separate. Was a little bit of a challenge as well, trying to keep cameras on each individual players. Um, did not run into very much challenges in the way of the network communications. Unity does a pretty good job of hiding all of that network communications and set up behind the scenes as long as you set your characters up as network behavior objects. Pretty much everything else is pretty much taken care of behind the scenes. So we did run into some challenges. The networking, spawning the characters was probably the biggest one. Um, we also felt like we had a longer list of uh, game features that we wanted to implement, but quite simply ran out of time to implement some of those features. But overall, pretty pleased with the final product, and we hope you like it. Thank you.